to recite her poem tomorrow in a fluid form of thread. Welcome, Masha.
So, this one's a second.
Thank you.
Should I stand like here? Okay, perfect. Hello everyone. Before I start, I just want to say that this is a really precious moment for me. I have dreamt of doing a poetry reading for a really long time. And at the beginning of this year, I kind of made a wish. I was staying in the south with friends, and I was looking at the sea, and I was like, oh, like, my dream this year is to do a poetry reading, and hopefully not just one. And then the opportunity showed up, and I'm really grateful, so thank you. So this poem is called Tomorrow in a Cubic Room. A pathway from past to future, I look through it, hoping to see something new. But the sky and the river are just like yesterday, blue. My room on the other end is red, and I'm floating through shapes, the circles and rectangles, my desk and a bed. You said tomorrow all will be better, but why does tomorrow have no particular date? For you, all I do is wait. I stare through my window, inside looking out from past to future, missing the present. At what point will this end? My room changes shapes, but the outside is still blue. The window preventing me from feeling time, the actualization of you, always running away, promising to return or bring something better from the future. Maybe you just couldn't find your keys. Entitled by my room, I look out for something in the same scenery, now lighted by the moon. I searched in the blue for the green, where the room inside me was changing from red to something I've never seen. The shape of my bed is now a triangle, and I feel stuck in a constant cycle, transition, of not being fully inside. I say I'm indoors, but that's just the disguise. I never belonged to triangles, and I didn't pick this bed. You chose it, and I gave in, even though I always hated red. So I pretend to stay inside, and yet my window is half closed. I won't go outside to the blue alone with no guide. So I kept waiting, I kept staying in between, my right foot settling in while my left arm touching the air. All around me, the shapes are experiencing change, and yet the ever-promised tomorrow never came. I have transitioned into a form previously unknown to man. Thank you.
Thank you, Masha. Hello, everyone, again. Welcome to the third edition of the Brief Shalimar. I'm Zara Mansour, the director of the Brief Shalimar, and I'm joined today with my co-founders, Tamir Ramazanov and Kirtana Karthikeyan. And Terence Birchman is a new addition to our team, taking on production coordination with Kirtana, and I'm really grateful to these guys for making this possible, along with many others today. And together we formed the curatorial board of the Shalimar. So Demir is a Kazakh designer and artist whose artwork moves between the digital and the physical, the real and the imagined through new media tools. Demir's practice reflects on how we relate with nature, memory, and image, especially through the lens of storytelling and fashion. He is also a member of the Paris-based art and music collective Heresy. Kirtana is a designer and illustrator whose work combines elements of her culture, global media, and shared history to create visual stories that are rooted in everyday experiences. She often revisits and reworks her pieces over time, forming archives of various projects. Terence is a multidisciplinary Indian artist, born and raised in Mumbai, and currently pursuing an artistic education at the Paris College of Art. He critically deals with analyzing institutional frames in his practice. And I, Zara Mansoor, am a Pakistani artist and cultural producer whose work concerns liminality, both metaphysical and physical, and I study the resonance between Sufism, Western metaphysics, and Jungian theory. At the heart of my practice is an investigation into the role of artists as social orchestrators, and I currently work out of my studio at Push in Paris. So Demir, Kirtana, and I actually met at our alma mater, Parsons Paris, and developed Brief Shalimar as an interstitial and ephemeral space coming from and being for the art community. And the Brief Shalimar actually derives its inspiration from the Shalimar Gardens of Lahore, which were created as a Persian paradise charbagh, which means a garden that's divided into four. And this type of garden was actually meant to create an earthly representation of utopia. So the Brief Shalimar is an art salon and accompanying experiences aims to create utopia on earth through these communal gatherings that derive from art and often lead into deriving more art. So we are a collective that produce these types of multisensory experiences. I'm going to give the mic to Demir to talk a little bit about the theme of the exhibition today.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming today. Today's theme is called Tomorrow Will. For this edition, we are artists they were invited to complete the statement Tomorrow Will and reflect on the nature of tomorrow and their contributions to this one. We believe that tomorrow is a promise that's sometimes kept and sometimes broken. Tomorrow is a mirage, sometimes bridging hope, sometimes weariness. The show presents pieces from young contemporary artists ranging from sensitive sculptures to dreamlike drawings and photography, representing an immersive range of sociocultural backgrounds. The artists are unified in their awareness of the present and the future. The third Shalimar poses a contemplation on the position of art and the inevitable flow of time and memory. Out, brief, candle, Macbeth, laments, and the famous tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow speech. We come together for this ephemeral salon, experiencing creation, revering and mourning life, underscoring the irrelevance of presence and absence. Tomorrow will persist. Thank you. Further?
You'll find that the work presented today reflects a multitude of sociocultural backgrounds and conceptual approaches. Among the 22 installations that we have here today, you find a wide range of artistic methods ranging from Kevin Murphy's dreamlike drawings, which you can see over there, and Barbara Lornier's haunting photography, which you can see behind us over there. And also an installation from Bonaviti Biswas that blurs the boundaries of personal and political, which you can see there. And you're invited to walk through and under the installation, if you so choose. So in this exhibition, you see a conversation between the physical presence of the body and the infinite nature of the mind, through works that occupy the juncture between fashion and wearable sculptures and photography. Clara Fortis sculpture, for example, played with anatomy, which you can see over there, anatomy and subconscious action. Rebecca Durden explores, work behind me, explores garment conception through distortion, tailoring, and corsetry, blending resilience and vulnerability. And now I'd like to hand it over to you.
So this edition of the Shalimar was preceded by two other salons that we had in Paris back in 2024 during the fall, and the first one was at Gallery Roshana, and we had another one in December at Massworks. If any of you were there, thank you for coming and thank you for being here again. Today, in addition to all the installed work, you can also look forward to our programming, which includes 2 panel discussions and a performance activation. So around 5 p.m. we will host a panel between Clara Fortis, Gayatri Javekar, Demir, and myself. And then following that, the next panel discussion at 6 p.m. we will host another one with Drupat Prasad Buddha, with Mercedes Lloyd, Terrence, and Zara. Finally, at 7, we will welcome Tara Tess Vadanpur for a performance intervention, which is entitled Today Should, a contemporary ballet that was directed and choreographed by Bathanpur as part of her company, Ballet Barcord, featuring dancers Rafael Louise, Chloe Lachaud, and Helena Maron, and the costumes were designed by Andrea Freydig. Please feel free to take a drink at our bar, and they were concocted by Shalimar's resident drink curator, Fiona McDonald, and please make a contribution as per your capacity to the Brief Shalimar to keep supporting us in the future. The proceeds will always go towards supporting the production of our future events, so we would really appreciate it. As we launch the edition of the third Brief Shalimar, I would also like to thank all the spaces and people who have supported us and built these experiences with us. Thank you to Weed Projects and Cement for sharing this beautiful space with us. Thank you to all the participating artists and performers and the audience for joining us today.
Thank you, Keeks. In addition to the salon, the Shalimar extends towards hosting tangential experiences with the aim of bringing people together through artistic interventions. One of these upcoming events is on May 2nd, this coming Friday. We will be presenting the first edition of Shalimar on the Screen, a screening night presenting 2 films that blur fiction and non-fiction, exploring ideas of diaspora, immigration, womanhood, and a panel talk following at the Mémoire de l'Avenir nearby in Belleville. You can find the details on our social media, on our Instagram, or you can come up to one of us after, and we have these little QR codes around, both for donations and for following us and keeping in the loop. Before we sign off, I just want to add that our salon really functions as a community effort involving an open call and artists reaching out to us as well with ideas and collaborations. And we rely on our community for installations, performances, and hosting these supplementary events. So we encourage you to get in touch with us if you want to talk to us about your ideas or about your spaces, what excites you, and how we could help you out or create something together. So we're always happy to develop new things. And with this, I invite you to walk around, take a look at the art, and thank you so much for coming.